Jake Morrison sat in the big chair that belonged to Earth. Around him, the other aliens sat in their own special chairs. The room was huge and made of shiny metal. Big windows showed the stars outside. This was the Galactic Council, and Jake had been coming here for 3 years now. Today felt different. Today felt bad. The tall blue alien named Vexthul was talking. He always talked like he was better than everyone else. His people were called the Vorthic, and they thought they owned the galaxy. Next to him sat the red alien Xerix. His people were the Kryn, and they loved to fight. The other aliens were there too. The smart Etherians, the trade-loving Zephyrians, the peacemaking Nexari, the old Solari, and the quiet Umbrans. Jake looked at his aide, Commander Lisa Parker. She sat behind him, taking notes on her tablet. Lisa had been with him since he started this job. She was smart and tough, and she did not like how the aliens treated humans. The mining rights in the Kepler sector, Vexthul said in his deep voice. These should go to proper civilizations, not to the new species that barely knows how to use tools. Jake felt his hands tighten on his chair. The Kepler sector was full of rare metals that Earth needed. Human ships had found those metals first. Human workers had built the mines. Human engineers had made them work. But now the Council wanted to take them away. Humans discovered those deposits, Jake said, standing up. Our people have been working there for 5 years. Xerix made a sound like laughing. Your people? Yes, the ones who just learned to fly between stars 50 years ago. My people have been spacefaring for 3,000 years. The other aliens nodded. They always agreed with each other when it came to putting humans down. It did not matter that humans had solved problems the aliens could not fix. It did not matter that human doctors had saved alien lives. It did not matter that human engineers had made their old machines work better. The vote is clear, said the Etherian named Kelenara. Her people were supposed to be the smart ones, but she never seemed to think humans were smart enough. The Kepler sector mining rights will be divided between the Vorthic and Kryn fleets. This is wrong, Jake said. His voice was getting louder. We followed all the rules. We filed the proper papers. We did everything you asked. Rules? Vexthul stood up too. He was much taller than Jake, and his blue skin seemed to glow with anger. You speak of rules? Your species has been in space for barely a moment. You are children playing with adult toys. We allow you to sit in this council out of kindness, not because you deserve it. Kindness? Lisa stood up now. She was not supposed to speak, but Jake could see she was too angry to stay quiet. We have given you new medical treatments. We have shared our food with your colonies. We have helped fix your broken ships. What kindness have you shown us? Silence. Xerix hit his hand on his chair. Servants do not speak in the council. That was the last straw. Jake had heard enough. He had taken their insults for 3 years. He had smiled when they made jokes about humans. He had stayed quiet when they ignored human ideas. But calling Lisa a servant was too much. Jake walked to the center of the room. All the aliens looked at him. The room became very quiet. Outside the windows, the stars seemed to watch too. I have something to say, Jake said. His voice was calm now, but everyone could hear the anger underneath. The United Earth Federation is leaving this council. We are done. The aliens started talking all at once. Some laughed. Some looked surprised. Vexthul's blue face got darker. You cannot leave, he said. Where will you go? Who will protect your little worlds? Who will trade with you? You need us more than we need you. Do we? Jake asked. He looked around the room at all the alien faces. For 3 years, we have been the ones solving problems. When the Zephyrian trade ships broke down, who fixed them? When the Etherian colonies got sick, who found the cure? When the Nexari needed help, With their peace talks, who made them work? Those were small things, Kellanara said, but she did not sound as sure as before. Small things? Jake laughed, but it was not a happy sound. Everything we do is small to you, until you need it done. He turned to Lisa. Send the message to Earth. Tell President Foster that we are coming home. Lisa typed on her tablet. Message. Sent, sir. Jake looked at the aliens one more time. The human ships will be gone from Council space within 6 months. The human workers will leave your worlds. The human doctors will stop helping your people. The human engineers will stop fixing your machines. You wanted to see how well you do without us. Now you can. He started walking to the door. Lisa followed him. You will be back, Xerix called after them. In 1 year, maybe 2, you will come. Crawling back. You will beg us to let you join again. Jake stopped at the door. He did not turn around. Maybe, he said, but I do not think so. The door closed behind them with a soft sound. In the council room, the aliens sat in silence. Outside, the stars kept shining, not caring about the big change that had just happened. Jake and Lisa walked through the long halls of the station. Other aliens stopped and stared. News traveled fast in space. Do you think we did the right thing? Lisa asked. Jake thought about it. I think we did the only thing we could do. They never saw us as equals. They never will. What happens now? Jake smiled for the first time in hours. Now we show them what humans can really do when we are free. To do it. They reached their ship, a small Earth vessel painted white and blue. The pilot, Captain Roy Baker, was waiting for them. Setting course for Earth? He asked. Yes, Jake said. And Roy? Send a message to Admiral Cooper. Tell him to start Protocol Exodus. Protocol Exodus? Roy looked confused. He will know what it means, Jake said. As their ship flew away from the council station, Jake looked back one last time. The station grew smaller and smaller until it was just another dot of light among the stars. The galaxy was about to learn something new about humans. They were about to learn that being small and new did not mean being weak. They were about to learn that leaving humans alone might be the biggest mistake they ever made. 6 months had passed since Jake Morrison walked out of the council meeting. The aliens were happy at first. They thought they had won something big. Vexthul stood in his office on the Vorthic homeworld looking at reports. His people had taken over 3 human mining worlds in the Kepler sector. The mines were full of good metals, just like they wanted. The humans left everything behind, his aide told him. The machines, the living spaces, even some of their small ships. Vexthul felt proud. Of course they did. They knew they could not fight us. Weak species always run when faced with strength. But something was wrong with the mines. The machines kept breaking down. The Vorthic workers did not know how to fix them. The metals were getting harder to dig up. Send more workers, Vexthul ordered, and bring the old mining equipment from our other worlds. Far away, on the Kryn war world of Korthek, Xerix was having similar problems. His people had taken over the human patrol routes in the outer systems. But the pirates were getting bolder. 3 Kryn ships had been attacked in the last month. How did the humans stop the pirates? Xerix asked his generals. We do not know, General Carthil replied. They used some kind of new detection system. We cannot make it work. Xerix hit his fist on the table. Then build more ships. Send more patrols. But building ships cost money. And money was getting harder to find. On the trading world of Zephyr Prime, things were even worse. Merchant Prince Zultar looked at his profit reports and felt sick. Trade between the worlds was costing 3 times more than before. Why? He asked his best trader. The humans ran the shipping lanes, the trader explained. They knew the fastest routes. They knew which worlds needed what goods. Without them, we are flying blind. Then learn what they knew. We are trying, but it will take years. Years. Zultar did not have years. Other traders were already losing money. Some were going out of business, thought the Etherians were having their own problems. Their big science ship, the Quantum Dawn, was having computer troubles. The ship's brain kept making mistakes. The humans helped us upgrade this system, Chief Scientist Valinara told her team. They wrote new code that made it work better. But we do not understand how they did it. Can we remove their code? Another scientist asked. We tried. The whole system stopped working. Valinara felt frustrated. Her people were supposed to be the smartest in the galaxy. But they could not figure out what the humans had done to their own machines. Meanwhile, the humans were busy. Very busy. On Earth, President Amanda Foster sat in her office reading reports. Good reports. Admiral Ryan. Cooper stood next to her, pointing at pictures on the big screen. The orbital defense platforms are almost done, Cooper said. We now have protection around every human world. What about the new ships? Foster asked. Dr. Helen Grant's team has finished the designs. We are building faster than ever before. Foster nodded. And the other projects? Colonel Jack Bennett says the warning systems are working. We can see any ship that comes near our space from very far away. On the moon base, Dr. Simon Hayes was working on something special. It was a new way to talk between ships and worlds. It was much faster than anything the aliens had. Testing the new communication system, he said into his microphone. Luna base to Mars Colony. Mars Colony here, came the reply. Message received instantly. Hayes smiled. The old alien communication systems took hours to send messages between worlds. His new system took seconds. Commander Kate Williams was working on the biggest secret of all. In a hidden base under the mountains of Colorado, she led a team of the best human engineers and scientists. Show me what you have learned, she told her team. They had been studying every piece of alien technology they could find. Vorthic energy, weapons, Kryn armor, Etherian computers, Zephyrian engines. Human scientists had taken them all apart and built them back up again, but better. We have improved the Kryn shield design by 40%, one engineer reported. The Vorthic energy. Weapons are 30% more powerful with our changes, said another. And the Etherian computers? Twice as fast, and they never break down. Williams felt excited. The aliens thought humans were too new to understand their technology. They were wrong. Captain Troy Sullivan was flying his cargo ship, the New Denver, between the human worlds. His ship was full of goods and materials. Everything the human worlds needed to grow stronger. This is much easier than the old days, he told his crew. No aliens telling us what we can and cannot carry. No council taxes, no stupid rules. His crew agreed. Working for humans was better than working for the aliens. But the aliens were starting to notice strange things. Their spy ships near human. Space were picking up odd readings, big energy sources, new kinds of radio signals. Ships flying in patterns they did not understand. Request permission to investigate. A Vorthic spy captain asked his commander. Denied, came the reply. The humans said we cannot enter their space. We must respect that. But, sir, they might be building weapons. Let them build whatever they want. What can they do? They are still just one small species. The first real sign of trouble came when the Etherian science ship Quantum Dawn broke down near the edge of human space. The ship's computer brain had finally crashed completely. Send a distress signal, Captain Morthal ordered. Tell the council ships to come help us. But the nearest council ship was days away. The Quantum Dawn was losing power. Soon, the crew would start to die. Sir, the communications officer said quietly, there is a human ship nearby. The USS Liberty. Captain Morthal felt angry. Ask humans for help? His people were supposed to be smarter than humans. Sir, the officer said again, we are going to die if someone does not help us soon. Morthal closed his eyes. Pride was not worth dying for. Contact the human ship, he said. Captain Alex Turner of the USS Liberty received the call. His ship was new, built with all the improvements Williams' team had made. It was faster and stronger than any ship the aliens had. This is Captain Turner, he said. We received your distress call. We are coming to help. You will help us? Morthal sounded surprised. Of course. People in trouble need help. That is what good people do. When the Liberty reached the quantum dawn, Turner was shocked. The Etherian ship was falling apart. The crew was sick. The medical equipment was old and broken. Bring them to our medical bay, Turner ordered. The human medical bay was clean and bright. The equipment was new and worked perfectly. Dr. Lisa Chun, the ship's doctor, started treating the Etherian crew right away. How do you have such good medical equipment? One of the sick Etherians asked. We built it ourselves, Dr. Chun said. We learned from the best ideas of all species and made them better. Captain Morthal watched in amazement. The humans were not just helping. They were helping better than his own people could. Why are you doing this? He asked Turner. Because it is right, Turner said. Your people and our people may have problems, but that does not mean we should let you die. When the quantum dawn was fixed and the crew was healthy, Morthal felt confused. These humans were supposed to be primitive and weak, but their ship was better than his. Their medical care was better than his. Their people were kinder than his. Thank you, he said to Turner. You are welcome, Turner replied. I hope your people stay safe. As the quantum dawn flew away, Morthal thought about what he had seen. Maybe the council had been wrong about humans. Maybe they had made a big mistake. Back in council space, the problems were getting worse. The Zephyrians were losing money. Every day, the Kryn were losing ships to pirates. The Vorthic mines were producing less and less metal. We need to do something, Zultar told the other council members in an emergency meeting. The humans will come back, Vextal said, but he did not sound as sure as before. What if they do not? Asked Kellanara. Nobody had an answer for that question, and that scared them more than they wanted to admit. 1 year had passed since the humans left. The galaxy was not the same place anymore. CAR, single quotes IX, stood on the bridge of his biggest warship, the Blood Fang. His red eyes looked at the star maps showing Nexari space. The Nexari were the peacemakers of the galaxy, but they were also weak. They had things the Kryn wanted. Today, we take what should be ours, Xerix told his generals. The Nexari have grown fat and lazy. They cannot fight us. What about the other council members? General Carthul asked. They will not help, Xerix said with a cruel smile. Everyone is too busy with their own problems. He was right. The Vorthic were still trying to make their stolen mines work. The Zephyrians were losing money every day. The Etherians were trying to fix their broken computers. Nobody had time to help the Nexari. The attack began at dawn. Kryn ships appeared in 3 different Nexari systems at once. They were fast and brutal, just like always. On the Nexari homeworld, Ambassador Jex Allen watched the sky fill with enemy ships. His people had no strong military. They had always used words to solve problems, not weapons. Send a message to the council, he ordered. Tell them we need help, but the council was falling apart. The Vorthic said they were too busy. The Zephyrians said they had no money for war. The Etherians said they needed time to study the situation. Only the old Solari offered help, but their ships were ancient and slow. On Earth, Senator Gary Thompson sat in his office under the ground. He was in charge of Earth's spy network, and he knew everything that happened in alien space. "The Kryn are winning," he told President Foster over the secure communication line. "The Nexari will fall in a few weeks. Should we help them?" Foster asked. "The Nexari never treated us badly," Thompson said. "But they also never helped us when we needed it." Foster thought about it. "Keep watching. Do not act yet." The war spread quickly. When the Vorthics saw the Nexari losing, they decided to grab some trade routes for themselves. They said they were not fighting the Nexari. They were just protecting important shipping lanes. Vexthal smiled as his ships took control of the profitable routes between the Nexari worlds and the Zephyrian markets. If the Nexari cannot protect their own trade, then someone else must do it. But this made the Zephyrians angry. Those trade routes were making money for Zephyrian companies. "This is robbery," Zultar shouted at an emergency council meeting. "You are stealing from us." "We are protecting galactic commerce," Vexthal replied calmly. "The Nexari clearly cannot do it themselves." The meeting turned into a screaming match. Everyone blamed everyone else. The unity of the council was breaking apart. Meanwhile, the humans were getting stronger every day. Dr. Rachel Morgan worked in her lab on Mars, surrounded by machines that hummed with power. She had just made a breakthrough that would change everything. "I did it," she told her team. Instant communication across any distance. Her assistant, Dr. Paul Davis, looked confused. "That is impossible. The laws of physics do not allow it." "The laws of physics as the aliens understand them," Morgan corrected. "But we understand them better now." She showed him the machine. It was small and simple looking, but it could send messages instantly to any place in the galaxy. "We can talk to our ships anywhere," she explained. "We can coordinate our actions perfectly. We can respond to threats in real time." This was huge. The aliens still used old communication systems that took hours or days to send messages between distant worlds. Humans could now talk instantly. Admiral Cooper was building the biggest fleet in human history. The shipyards around Earth worked day and night, creating vessels that were faster and stronger than anything the aliens had. "How many ships do we have now?" he asked Colonel Jack Bennett. 300 combat vessels," Bennett replied. "And they are all equipped with the new technology." Cooper nodded. Every human ship now had improved shields, better weapons, and instant communication. They were ready for anything, but the strangest news came from the outer edge of the galaxy. Captain Diana Ross was exploring new systems in her ship, the Horizon's Edge. She found something that made her blood run cold. "This is Captain Ross to Earth Command," she said into her radio. "I need to speak with Admiral Cooper immediately." "This is Cooper," came the instant reply through the new communication system. "Admiral, I found something out here. Machines, not like any alien technology I have seen. They are just floating in space, but they are scanning everything." Cooper felt worried. "Can you describe them?" "They are black and geometric. They have no visible weapons, but they give off a lot of energy. And sir, there are hundreds of them." "Do not get close," Cooper ordered. "Come back to base immediately." "Already on my way, sir." Cooper turned to his staff. "Get me Senator Thompson and Dr. Morgan. We need to know what those machines are." The mysterious machines were spreading. Other human scouts found them in different systems. They did not attack, but they were clearly studying everything they owe me. Saw the Umbrans, the mysterious aliens who rarely spoke, finally broke their silence. Elder Mexthara called an emergency council meeting. "The old enemy stirs," she said in her whispering voice. "The devourers wake from their long sleep." "Devourers?" Vexthal asked. "What are devourers?" "Ancient machines," Mexthara replied. They consume worlds and turn them into more of themselves. Our ancestors fought them long ago and barely won. Where are the records of this war? Kaelanara asked. In the deep archives, Mexthara said. But the access codes are complex. We need the human computer experts to unlock them. The council chamber became very quiet. They had driven away the humans, and now they needed human help to access their own historical records. Contact the humans, Xerix said. Tell them we need their help. They will not help us, Vexthil said. We treated them badly. They have to help us, Zultar said. If these devourers are real, they threaten everyone. But when they tried to contact Earth, they got a polite but firm message. They united. Earth Federation is not currently accepting communications from Council members. Please direct all inquiries through proper diplomatic channels. The proper diplomatic channels no longer existed. The humans had left out Captain Ross, made it back to Earth, and gave her full report. The machines were definitely not made by any known species. They were ancient, powerful, and spreading through space. They are mapping everything, she told the Earth Defense Council. Every planet, every moon, every asteroid. It is like they are planning something big. Dr. Morgan studied the data Ross had collected. The machines used technology that was far beyond anything the galaxy had ever seen. These are not just machines, she said. They are weapons. Planet-killing weapons. Admiral Cooper made a decision. We need to prepare for war. Not with the aliens, but with these devourers. What about the council species? Senator Thompson asked. What about them? Cooper replied. They made their choice when they drove us away. But Foster was not so sure. If these machines are as dangerous as they seem, we might need allies. The aliens are not our allies, Cooper said. They are our former oppressors. They are also people, Foster pointed out, and people deserve a chance to live. The debate continued, but everyone knew the truth. The galaxy was facing a threat bigger than any political argument. The question was whether the different species could work together to face it. Devourers were not waiting for them to decide. Every day, more machines appeared in new systems. Every day, they got closer to inhabited worlds. On the Nexari homeworld, now under Kryn occupation, Ambassador Jexalan watched the sky with fear. His people had lost their freedom, but they might lose something much more important soon. Their lives dot in the deep archives of the Umbran homeworld. Ancient computers held the secrets of the last Devourer War, but without human help, those secrets would stay locked forever. The galaxy was about to pay a terrible price for driving away the one species that might be able to save them all. 2 years had passed since the humans left the council. The galaxy was burning. The Devourers had revealed their true nature. They were not just scouts, they were destroyers. Entire star systems were disappearing, consumed by the ancient machines, and turned into more devourers. The Zephyrian colony world of Trader's Rest was the first to die. Zultar watched from his command ship as the machines surrounded his people's world. The planet simply vanished, eaten by the mechanical swarm. In its place, thousands of new Devourer ships floated in space. How is this possible? Zultar whispered. His science officer looked at the readings with horror. They converted the entire planet's mass into their own ships. Everything, the rock, the water, the air, the people, all of it became part of them. On the Kryn homeworld, Xerix was trying to organize a defense. His people were warriors, but they had never faced an enemy like this. The Devourers could not be scared or reasoned with. They just consumed everything in their path. How many ships do we have? He asked his generals. 2,000 warships, General Carthol replied. Our entire fleet and the enemy? More than we can count. And they keep growing. Xerix felt something he had never felt before. fear. His people had conquered many worlds, but they had never faced an enemy that could turn their own planets into weapons. The Etherian homeworld was in panic. Their great minds, so proud of their intelligence, could not understand the devourer technology. The machines were too advanced, too alien. "We need help," Kalinara told the Emergency Science Council. "We need the human-computer experts." "The humans will not help us," another scientist said. "We insulted them. We drove them away. Then we will die," Kalinara replied simply. On Earth, Admiral Cooper stood in the command center watching the galaxy burn. Giant screens showed the devourer advance. Red dots marked the systems that had been consumed. There were too many to count. "They are moving faster now," Captain Ross reported. She had been tracking the machines since she first found them. They consumed the Zephyrian industrial worlds. Now they have better production facilities. "How long before they reach the core systems?" Cooper asked. 6 months, maybe less. Cooper turned to the other human leaders. President Foster was there, along with Senator Thompson and Dr. Morgan. "We could run," Thompson said. "Pack up our people and head for the other side of the galaxy." "For how long?" Foster asked. "These machines will not stop. They will consume everything eventually." Dr. Morgan had been studying the devourer technology from the data Ross collected. "They are not just random destroyers," she said. "They are targeting specific types of civilizations. Advanced ones that use a lot of energy. Like all the council species." Cooper realized. "Like us too," Morgan added. "We are exactly the kind of civilization they want to destroy." The debate was interrupted by an urgent message. "Admiral Cooper, we have ships approaching the outer defense perimeter." Cooper looked at the screen. A collection of damaged alien vessels was limping toward Earth's solar system. He recognized the ships: Vorthik, Kryn, Etherian, Nexari, and others. "They are requesting permission to enter our space," the communications officer said. "Denied," Cooper said immediately. "Sir," the officer continued, "they say they have refugees, survivors from the devourer attacks." Foster put her hand on Cooper's shoulder. "Ryan, those are people out there. Whatever happened between us and their governments, those people did not choose it." Cooper looked at the screen again. The ships were badly damaged. Some were barely holding together. Inside were thousands of alien beings who had lost everything. "Permission granted," he said finally. "But they land at the outer stations only. No one goes to Earth without full security screening." As the refugee ships docked at the human space stations, something unexpected happened. The alien survivors were amazed by what they saw. The human stations were clean and efficient. The medical facilities were better than anything in council space. The food was good, and there was plenty of it. Most importantly, the humans treated the refugees with kindness and respect. "Why are you helping us?" asked a young Vorthik child who had lost her parents to the devourers. "Because you needed help," replied Dr. Amy Wilson, the human doctor, treating the refugees. "That is what good people do." The child did not understand. Her people had always been taught that humans were primitive and selfish. But these humans were neither. Among the refugees was someone important, Elder Mexthara of the Umbrans. She had escaped when the devourers attacked the Umbran homeworld, but just barely. She carried with her the last copies of the ancient records. "I must speak with your leaders," she told the human guards. "I have information about the devourers. Information that might save us all." Soon, Mexthara was in a meeting with the top human officials. She looked very old and tired, but her eyes were still sharp. "The devourers have been sleeping for millions of years," she explained. "They wake up when the galaxy becomes too active. Too many energy signatures. Too much technology." "So this is our fault?" Foster asked. "All of our fault," Mextar corrected. Human, Vorthik, Kryn, all of us. We grew too fast, built too much, consumed too much energy. We woke them up. How were they stopped before? Dr. Morgan asked. Unity, Maxthara said. All the species of the galaxy worked together. They shared their knowledge, their technology, their strength. Only together could they defeat the devourers. Cooper laughed bitterly. Unity? The council species spent 2 years fighting each other instead of working together. I know, Maxthara said sadly. That is why we are losing. The meeting was interrupted by alarms. New devourer fleets had appeared in the nearby systems. They were only days away from the core worlds. We need to evacuate, Thompson said. Where? Foster asked. They will follow us anywhere we go. Admiral Cooper studied the tactical displays. The devourer fleets were huge and getting bigger. But something caught his attention. They are not random, he said. Look at their movements. They are coordinated. There must be a central command. Doctor. Morgan looked at the data. You are right. They are all receiving orders from somewhere. If we could find that command center and destroy it, Kutz, Cooper began. The rest would stop working, Morgan finished, like cutting the head off a snake. But we would need a fleet big enough to fight through their defenses, Cooper said. We would need ships from every species in the galaxy. We would need the council fleets, Foster realized. What is left of them? Thompson added. The irony was clear. The humans had the best technology and the best strategy, but they needed the alien fleets to have enough ships. And the aliens needed human leadership to have any chance of winning. We need to contact the council survivors, Foster said. They will not trust us, Cooper pointed out. Then we have to make them trust us, Foster replied. The message went out. On all frequencies. President Foster herself made the announcement. This is President Foster of the United Earth Federation. The galaxy faces extinction. We know how to stop the devourers, but we cannot do it alone. We need every ship, every weapon, every person who can fight. Set aside our old arguments. Join us, or watch the galaxy die. The response was immediate. Vexthel, now commanding the last Vorthik fleet from a damaged ship, was the first to reply. We will follow your lead, he said. Our pride is not worth more than our lives. Xerix was next. The Kryn will fight beside you. We are warriors, and this is a war worth fighting. Even Zultar, who had lost most of his trading fleet, agreed. The Zephyrians will provide what ships we have left. Kalayara spoke for the Etherians. Our knowledge is yours. Our ships are yours. Command us. The most surprising response came from the Nexari. Ambassador Jexalin, speaking from a refugee ship, said simply, We never wanted to fight anyone, but we will fight these machines that would destroy all life. Within hours, the largest fleet in galactic history was assembling in human space. Human ships with their advanced technology, Kryn warships with their heavy weapons, Vorthik vessels with their powerful shields, Etherian ships with their sensor arrays, Zephyrian fast ships perfect for scouting, Nexari support vessels to keep the fleet supplied. For the first time in galaxy history, all the species were working together as equals. Admiral Cooper stood on the bridge of the new flagship, the Terran Unity. It was the most advanced ship ever, built, combining the best technology from every species. All ships report ready, Captain Turner announced. He had been promoted to command the flagship alongside Cooper. Fleet status? Cooper asked. 8,000 ships from all species. Turner replied, the largest military force ever assembled. Cooper nodded. It was impressive, but he knew it might not be enough. The devourers had consumed dozens of worlds and turned them all into ships. Their numbers were beyond counting. Signal the fleet, Cooper commanded. We jumped to the target system in 1 hour. Dr. Morgan had found the Devourer command center using the ancient Umbrian records and human computer analysis. It was hidden in a dead system at the galaxy's edge, protected by millions of Devourer ships. "This is a suicide mission," General Carthul said over the communication link. The Kryn warrior sounded calm about it. "Maybe," Cooper replied, "but if we do nothing, we all die anyway. At least this way, we fight back." As the fleet prepared to jump, something unexpected happened. More ships appeared at the edge of human space. Small vessels, civilian ships, even old cargo haulers. They were crewed by volunteers from every species. Why, the largest fleet in galactic history dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of the dead system. What they saw made even the bravest warriors feel fear. Millions of Devourer ships filled the darkness. They moved in perfect formations, like a deadly dance in the void. At the center of the swarm was something huge, a structure the size of a moon made entirely of black metal and pulsing energy. "That is their command center," Dr. Morgan said from the science station of the Terran Unity. "Destroy that, and the rest should stop working." "Should?" Admiral Cooper asked. "The Umbrian records are not completely clear," Morgan admitted, "but it is our best chance." Cooper looked at the tactical display. The Devourer fleet was moving toward them. In minutes, the battle would begin. "All ships, this is Admiral Cooper," he announced to the fleet. "Remember why we are here. Every person we ever loved, every world we ever called home, every dream we ever had, it all depends on what we do in the next few hours." The Devourers attacked first. Black ships came at them like a wave of death, firing energy beams that could cut through any known armor. The Allied fleet fired back with everything they had. The Kryn ships charged forward, their heavy weapons blazing. Xerix led the attack personally, his ship Bloodfang cutting through the enemy formation like a sword. "For our children," he roared over the communication link. "For our future." The Vorthic ships formed a defensive wall, their improved shields protecting the smaller vessels. Vexthal coordinated the defense with calm precision. "Shield generators at maximum," he ordered. "Do not let them break through." The Etherian ships hung back, using their sensors to guide the fleet's attacks. Kalenara's voice came through clearly as she called out enemy weak points and attack patterns. "Devourer command ship moving to grid 7, she reported. "Concentrate. Fire on that position." The Zephyrian fast ships darted between the larger vessels, carrying messages and supplies to where they were needed most. Even in the chaos of battle, they kept the fleet working together. The Nexari ships did something nobody expected. They moved toward the damaged alien vessels, rescuing crews and providing medical aid even as the battle raged around them. "We cannot fight," Ambassador Jexalin said over the radio, "but we can save lives." And in the center of it all, the human ships fought with technology that amazed even their allies. Their instant communication system let the entire fleet work as one. Their improved weapons cut through Devourer armor like paper. Their shields held against attacks that would have destroyed any other ship, but the Devourers kept coming. 4. Every enemy ship they destroyed, 2 more took its place. The Allied fleet was being overwhelmed. "We are losing too many ships," Captain Turner reported. "At this rate, we will not reach the command center." Cooper studied the battle display. Turner was right. They needed a new plan. "Dr. Morgan," he called, "what happens if we attack the command center directly? Skip the fleet and go straight for the target?" "It would be suicide," Morgan replied. "The defenses around that structure are too strong. But would it work if we could get through?" Morgan thought about it. "Yes, the command center is the brain of their entire network. Destroy it, and every Devourer ship should shut down. Cooper made his decision. All ships, this is the Admiral. We are going to punch through their defenses and attack the command center directly. This is a volunteer mission only. To his surprise, every ship in the fleet volunteered. We go together, Vexthal said simply, or we die together. The fleet formed a single massive formation, with the strongest ships on the outside and the fastest on the inside. They drove forward like a spear, aimed at the heart of the enemy. The devourers threw everything they had at the advancing fleet. Ships exploded all around Cooper as he watched friends and former enemies die side by side. The Kryn ship, Thunder's Roar, was cut in half by enemy fire, but its crew kept fighting even as their ship died around them. A Vorthic vessel rammed Devourer ship 3 times its size, destroying both in a ball of fire. An Etherian science ship used its experimental weapons to clear a path through the enemy formation, sacrificing itself to save others. We are through their outer defenses, Turner reported. The command center is directly ahead, but the cost had been terrible. More than half the fleet was gone. The survivors were damaged and running low on ammunition. All ships concentrate. Fire on the command center, Cooper ordered. The combined firepower of the remaining fleet struck the massive structure. Energy beams and missiles hit its black surface, causing explosions that lit up the darkness. But it was not enough. The command center's shields held. We need more power, Dr. Morgan said. Much more. Cooper looked around the bridge. His crew was exhausted, but they had not given up. None of them had given up. There is one way, he said quietly. We ram it. All remaining ships, full speed at the command center. Overload our reactors on impact. Sir, Turner said, that will destroy us too. I know, Cooper replied, but our children will live. The galaxy will live. One by one, the surviving ships acknowledged the order. Even knowing they would die, they were willing to make the sacrifice. It has been an honor fighting beside you all, Vexthal said over the radio. The honor was ours, Cooper replied. The ships accelerated toward the command center, their engines pushed beyond safe limits. The devourers tried to stop them, but it was too late. The Terran Unity was the first to hit. Cooper felt the ship shake apart around him as they struck the enemy structure. His last thought was of Earth, and the blue skies his daughter would see because of what they had done here. The other ships followed. Kryn, Vorthic, Etherian, Zephyrian, Nexari, Umbron, and human vessels all struck the command center at once. The explosion was so bright it could be seen from neighboring star systems. When the light faded, the command center was gone. And across the galaxy, every Devourer ship simply stopped working. They hung in space like dead metal, no longer a threat. To anyone, the war was over. 5 years later, Jake Morrison stood in a new council chamber. But this was not the old council of arrogant species, looking down on each other. This was the Galactic Alliance, built on equality and respect. The chamber was on a new station called Unity, built together by all the species. There were no high chairs or low chairs. Everyone sat at the same level. The memorial wall is complete, Morrison announced to the assembly. On the wall were the names of everyone who had died in the Devourer War. Human, Kryn, Vorthic, Etherian, Zephyrian, Nexari, Umbran, and others. Admiral Turner, one of the few survivors of the final battle, had escaped in a damaged life pod, stood next to the wall. He had been rescued 3 days after the battle by a joint human-alien search team. They died so we could live, he said. We must never forget that. President Foster, now serving as the first Chancellor of the Galactic Alliance, nodded. And we must never forget what we learned, that we are stronger together than apart. The Alliance was different from the old Council in every way. Technology was shared freely between all species. No one was considered superior or inferior. Decisions were made by consensus, not by the powerful imposing their will on the weak. The Vorthik had learned humility. The Kryn had learned compassion. The Etherians had learned wisdom. The Zephyrians had learned generosity. The Nexari had learned courage. The Umbrans had learned to speak up when speaking up was needed. And the humans? The humans had learned that being right was not as important as being together. "I have a message for you all," Foster announced. "We have received a communication from beyond our galaxy. Another civilization facing their own crisis. They have heard about our alliance, and they are asking for our help." The assembly looked at each other. Once, each species would have considered only their own interests. Now, they thought as one people. "What do we tell them?" asked the Vorthik representative. "The same thing we would want to hear," Foster replied. "That they are not alone. That help is coming. That the galaxy has learned to work together." Morrison smiled as he looked around the chamber. The aliens who had once called humans barely evolved primates now looked to human leadership with respect and trust. But more importantly, humans looked to alien wisdom and strength with the same respect. "All in favor of providing assistance?" Foster asked. Every hand in the chamber rose. "Then we go," Foster said, "together." As the Alliance fleet prepared for its first mission beyond the galaxy, Morrison stood at an observation window watching. The ships. Human vessels flew alongside Kryn warships and Vorthik explorers. Etherian science ships worked with Zephyrian traders and Nexari hospital ships. They were no longer separate species competing for resources and respect. They were one people, united by the hard-learned knowledge that diversity made them stronger, not weaker. The galaxy had indeed learned its lesson. And now it was time to teach that lesson to the universe. The stars beckoned, and the Galactic Alliance answered together.